This is Zara Lou, the comedy vixen, live funny shit only. Comedian, bad boy Redbean. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. How you is, girl?
Doing good, staying safe.
Trying to do that Nolan thing. Where you at? Where you at?
I'm like, what is it? Outside of Baltimore.
Damn, you
Mm-hmm.
frosted in the mug. But go ahead, do your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, the weather is in and out, but ain't nothing wrong with that.
I ain't never seen snow.
Since you down in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
We gonna go ahead and get started. You don't know New Orleans unless
Shit, unless you done had some fried shrimp for real, like real fried shrimp. Not that shit Popeyes had where it's fried bread. I don't know what y'all be putting shit. I don't even know what kind of seafood y'all got up there where y'all put seasoning on the outside of the shell.
I mean, me personally, it depends on how it's cooked.
What's that seasoning y'all got? Everybody using the know it?
Well, let me make sure we clear, okay? I grew up in the South area, like South
Okay,
Carolina, Low
okay,
Country, all right?
all right.
And
Salt
I
and
just
pepper.
happen to be here, and it's okay. In Massachusetts, they be on that crab boil. Here, I'm more into the steamed crabs, but they put too much Obey on it, so I gotta rinse it off or
That's it.
whatever.
Old Bay. Lord, what
Yeah,
the hell is Old Bay?
I mean, it is what it
Nothing.
is. So
Yes.
tell me where I should eat at, and what's your fondest memory of eating there?
In New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Man, I mean, one of my favorite places to eat is Deanie's, right? Man, look. So, yeah, that's where the seafood be tight and it's affordable and it's right. It's a big ass seafood platter, soft shell crabs, oysters, shrimp, uh, what is it, little crab balls.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can
I've been there
definitely get that.
twice.
Huh?
Every time I go, I go.
You go to Deanie's?
Yeah, soft shell crab. You can just eat the whole thing. You don't have to pick it off and none of that.
No, they
You're
even
not
got
supposed to eat
soft.
the soft shell.
Huh?
You're not supposed to eat the soft shell crab, the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah, eat the whole thing.
Oh, okay, I was making sure because I sure did. I ain't had no problems.
Yes, you eat everything on the plate.
Now, tell me about your first time on stage and did you bomb?
Whew, my first time on stage is an interesting story. I used to do my first time doing stand up.
Mm.
You know Ken Jung from The Hangover and from The Mask and all that.
Yes.
Well, he used to run a mic in New Orleans,
Okay.
and I used to do sketch comedy. Well, one night we were supposed to do sketch comedy at his open mic, but some of the comics didn't show up, so he asked me if I thought I could do stand up. And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could do something. And he
Yeah.
was like, well, what you want me to bring you up as? So my first stage name for that night was Big Nasty. Yeah, Big
Okay.
Nasty.
Is that how you pronounce it, or you gonna give me some swag on it?
No, it was Big Nasty. It was nothing
Okay.
swaggy about it. I was
Okay.
500 pounds, so it was big and nasty. But it was nasty because I was blue. I wouldn't, big people, they be sexy too. But he brought me up, and after a while, I kind of enjoyed it. I was like, you know what, that name ain't gonna get me too far. So then I changed it to Red Bean. It's actually this little girl when I used to be a bouncer at this club in New Orleans. She used to try to sneak in. She was only 16. She would try to sneak in, and when she would get mad, she's like, "You know what? You look like a red bean. I'm gonna call you Red Bean." So I thought of that name. I said, "Well, Red Bean, since I'm from New Orleans, I'll be Red Bean." And that's now the reason I have a stage name is because I watched this movie when I was little. I
Uh-huh.
don't know what it was, but this actor he couldn't get his SAG card because he didn't have a stage name. Like you had to have a stage name. And the name he wanted, he had to wait for somebody to die to get it. I don't know what the movie was, but I always thought you couldn't
That's
use your
wrong.
name. I thought you had to have a stage name.
Okay, I feel you. I feel
So
you.
that's why I had Big Nasty. And then the bad boy Redbean.
Tell me a joke from that night. How'd it go?
Man, shit, I don't remember. It was nasty though. So this is what happened. This is why I was big nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin James had the show. I forget his show, Kevin James, and he was a clean comic, but I had seen him do a roast. I didn't know what a roast was. I just know that he was nasty as fuck. I was like, wait up, you could be dirty? I didn't know you could be dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So the line that he said was, because he had a crush on Florence Henderson. And if you know, that's the Mama Brady. So he had a crush on her. And they were roasting Florence Henderson or B. Arthur. But anyway, he said, if I could get with with Florence Henderson, I would suck B. Arthur's dick. I was like, hold up. So you can be dirty? So yeah, so I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna be dirty because I grew up with LaWanda Page. I grew up listening to Red Fox, Richard Pryor. I grew up listening to all of those, like sneaking listening to my daddy. He had little 8-tracks, and I would go to school and I would tell those jokes at school, like in elementary school. Mm-hmm. And one time I got suspended for telling one of those jokes.
So your father did stand-up comedy too?
No, he just had all those tapes. Everybody had those tapes.
Those tapes. Give me more. Elaborate a little bit more about those tapes.
So LaWanda Page, if you remember.
So your dad had tapes from previous comedians, correct?
Yeah, like Richard Pryor and
I got you.
LaWanda Page, who is Esther. Esther was bad.
Yeah,
she had this.
I just found out she was an actual comedian. I didn't know that until a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, her tape was Pipeline Dan. That was her tape. And of course, Red Fox had a number of tapes or albums, but they were 8-tracks.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, yeah. Now, a long time ago, I had done an audition for Jerry Seinfeld when I was in college. Mm-hmm. But then there were a few years in between me being in college to actually deciding to do stand-up.
So you were still just going back and forth between sketch and stand-up?
Yes.
Okay. And so did you do improv classes or you were just...
No, my boy, he was hosting this show. And I was always a class clown, and he was putting together this comedy troupe called Loose Cannons. And he asked me to be a part of it. And that's how I got started.
Okay. If you can recall, what was the first groupie love you experienced and you don't know why?
The first groupie love?
Mm-hmm. And you don't know why?
Shit, I know why, because I'm sexy. But there were a couple of times. I don't know if I can even say this on the world. But one time I was doing this show, and this woman, she came in the show. She's like, all the men in here are gay. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know if she was drunk or whatever. I don't think she was. I don't know what she was. She's like, all the men in here are gay. And I'm like, what? She's like, because no one will fuck me. I'm like, okay. Well, I can remedy that. And
this might be a true story too, Bean.
It was a true story. It was
okay. Go ahead, listen.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I was the host of the show, so I had to pay all the comics. So they were looking for me. Like, wait a. So yeah, that was the most interesting groupie night.
So y'all was in the green room, or you actually went home?
It was in her car.
Oh Lord.
In the front seat, because they were. Yeah, it was interesting.
No comment.
I know, it's no comment. Like I'm saying, I was young and dumb. I was what, 29?
Okay, well, I guess that's young then.
Well, yeah, if you're 52 now, I know you're saying.
Yeah.
I know you're like, he don't even look 52. What?
No. Growing up, my mom always. Growing up, my mama always told me.
Oh, shit! I was ready to listen. What you telling?
No, it's all about you. That's why I tell people at the beginning every detail, so that way I don't lose you. You know what I mean?
Right. Growing up, my grandma always told me. I don't know. My grandma, she was probably the reason I was big nasty, because she used to curse her ass off. My grandma did not hold back. You
Give me
know,
something she always used to say. Give me a word she used to say.
cocksucker.
Give me a whole sentence. Like, who would she be talking to?
All of us. You cocksuckers, get you. She was bad. She was bad. I don't remember a lot she used to say, but yeah, my grandma was bad. I remember, I don't drink to this day, probably because of my grandmother. I remember I was little, my mom and my grandmother were arguing, and so while they were distracted, I took a swig of my mama's beer, which was a Schlitz malt liquor.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was so fucking nasty. And to this day, I don't drink because that shit is still nasty.
Malt liquor, huh?
All of it, yeah. If it ain't smooth like Kool-Aid, I don't need it.
Kool-Aid, okay.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna dig a little deeper. In high school, you knew I was around if they said.
I'm sorry. Wait. Hold on. What?
In high school, they knew I was around if they said.
In high school, they knew I was around because I was the big man on campus. Unfortunately, I went to an all boys school.
Okay.
So it wasn't a whole lot going on at an all boys school. And it was interesting enough that in high school, I only went on one date. I only went to a homecoming dance that my daddy only gave me $20 for. Yeah, it's $20. Let me tell you that night. Night. So I had never been to a dance, never been to anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know I had to pay to get in the dance. So it was, I'm gonna fuck with you. It was $2.50 to get into the dance because this was 1985. You was
per person?
No, for both of us.
Okay.
Like one of them little strip clubs in Atlanta. But anyway, it was $2.50. So then she wanted to take pictures. I'm like, okay, cool, pictures. Pictures were $9. Yes. Okay. So then she, myself, her sister, and her date got in the car and we went walking through the French Quarter. They were like, oh, I'm hungry. So we went to this restaurant called Ralph and Kaku's. So I had $8 and some change left. And her date had some money left as well. Probably the same amount. So he and we had to go to the bathroom to talk about how we was going to get this money up. So he and I both decided that we were on diets and we only had water while they ate. And we were able to pay for both of their meals with our $16-something, no tip, and water. Yeah, so that was my high school dating experience.
So your daddy taught you money management at a young age.
Man, my daddy look, I remember one time I had a job, right? And they paid, I never had a job. So I had this one little job where they paid me $200. And my daddy took my $200 because he said I was going to buy something stupid. And then he gave me my allowance out of that $200. I hope he's watching because he knows it's true. So I had to work for my money twice. Uh-huh. He gave me my allowance out of my own freaking money.
You was living there rent free, right?
No, I was cutting the grass. I was working. I was an only child, so I had to do all the work. But I was slick with it. Have you ever cleaned a bathtub with a mop?
Nah, that don't make sense.
Oh shit, it does because you clean it out in 2 minutes.
Okay. I use a scrub
Yes,
brush.
a mop. It was so easy. My mama could be in the driveway. I'd grab that mop. I'm done. That was my chore. Mopping, vacuuming, and cutting the grass and washing dishes.
You ain't take
Washing
trash
dishes was
out?
easy. I would throw them under my bed. But anyway.
Uh-uh. You ain't right. All them seasoning and gumbo juice and all that.
Yeah.
Mm, 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 mm.
Until my mama was looking for her dishes one day. What the hell are my dishes?
So Redbean, tell me about a time someone gave you advice and you really wasn't feeling it, but you used it anyways.
That part, I don't know. I've always been my own man. I mean, I could say going to college. I mean, I wasn't too happy with the decision that I went with, but
Mm-hmm.
it worked out. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and if I wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. And I definitely am happy. Even though I haven't done comedy in a while, but I'm definitely happy that it is a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, choosing to go to the university that I went to instead of exploring my options was probably not the best.
Okay.
But I got a lot from it though.
So what's a show that you felt you had your big break based on who you opened up for and who was that?
Hmm. I don't know because it was different for us. You know, BT Comic View came through. The crazy thing is HBO had come through New Orleans on August 27th, 2005, to
Mm-hmm.
showcase a few local comedians to do a Bad Boys of Comedy before P. Diddy even came up with Bad Boys of Comedy. It was Saturday, August 27th, and myself, Carrie B, uh, a few other comedians performed I Got a Standing O, and it was awesome. Like, we were on our way. They were like coming to shoot a pilot, and August 29th, Katrina hit. And
Mm.
we were all every comedian that performed that night was all over the country. The person that the HBO rep, she was actually pregnant at the time. She was able to get out of New Orleans, but we never heard anything else from that.
Mm.
The other time is I taped a a Comedy Central special, and the company that they used also worked for Fox 8 News in New Orleans, and that was the year that the Saints went to the Super Bowl. So they threw that on the side to cover the Saints. So I had two opportunities to possibly make it. Who knows? But yeah, that's so. But I did a couple of movies. That was pretty awesome. I did Grudge Match with Sylvester Stallone. I was his best friend. So I had some really good credits with that. I did Shark Lake with Dolph Lundgren. I actually punched him in the mouth, and he was pissed. But they told me, "Hey, you know what? Do your own stunts." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I'm not a stunt man, so I'm learning on the job." They
Right.
said, "You have a fight scene, just try not to hit him." I said, "Okay." Well, I didn't succeed, but yeah. So but I'm definitely happy. I know you've done our room, and Comedy Gumbo has definitely been a nice thing for me to be able to perform on a weekly basis. So I guess
So
that's that.
other than Comedy Gumbo, like what are you looking forward to? You got any bookings in 2022?
No, I don't have any bookings in 2022. I really, to be honest with you, I haven't focused on comedy since the corona has hit. I do have my own company that I've been running for the past 20 years. And I've been, more focused on that, been focused on kind of finding that extra income, because I don't think that comedy will be able to get back to the way it was, the intimate, nice setting, especially if you're in a smaller comedy club where you have to do 6 feet apart.
Right.
Somebody's going to have to be really creative. I think Dave Chappelle was creative when he did his show that was outside, and I know he's done a few shows like that. But I just don't know the future of comedy. I definitely know it won't be the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I've been working on different things.
Okay.
But, I like people like you that are finding ways to get their word out and be safe.
Yes, sir.
People are growing. I'm not too keen on the people that's doing the shows on Zoom. I don't think that lends itself to great comedy, the way that comedy was meant to be, or the way that I feel that comedy should be. And, maybe 22 will offer something different. Maybe the vaccine will work. Maybe the vaccine, won't be as scary as a lot of people think it is.
Right. Interesting. So where can everyone find you at on social media?
Well, they can check me out. Sometimes I put up a few comedy clips, a few videos, cartoon clips, or definitely some memes that I'm stealing from other people because they're fucking genius. But everything is at Bad Boy Redbean. There's badboyredbean.com. There's at Bad Boy Redbean.
Okay. Gotcha. Anything else you want to add? Any advice you want to give to any comedians watching?
Any comedians that's watching, especially if you're up and coming comedian, I tell you to just, take this time to definitely find, something else popping, like I've been studying stocks. I've been trying to get into this Bitcoin, try to find that alternative because it's going to be different. I know that there are a lot of, like, if you turn on the TV, if you buy a TV, there's so many different television shows out there that, that you can probably, focus your attention to try to get on.
Right.
Definitely, if you can take some online acting classes at this time, because, we might have another shutdown coming. Use this time wisely. That's all I can say is use this time wisely to really, like you said, what's coming up in 2022. Yeah, plan for 2022.
Okay. Well, Redbean, I appreciate you checking in with us always from New Orleans.
Right.
Hopefully I get to come down there. Probably, I don't know. Hopefully I might come in the year. But I like coming in like the June time, like the beginning of June before it get too hot.
Yeah.
I don't like my legs rubbing together and stuff. I mean, I just, all that walking and dancing in the street, I don't like the outside, but it'd be like, what the heck? You know what I mean? So I'm going to be in touch with you, and I'll probably bring you back for one of our other segments, which I'm developing, but I'm not sure if I want to release it or not because people be stealing. But thank you so much. Tell everyone good night.
All right. Peace.